My name is Goodluck OlorunJedalo. I'm a performance artist, percussionist, sound artist, and sound researcher, and also an emerging photographer. I am the founder, artistic director, OlorunJedalo Productions, based in Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah. So my drums are from different regions of Africa. So I have drums from the West Africa, I have drums from the East Africa, I have drums from the South Africa. So it's like a collection of drums from different African region. It's not specifically designed to one particular region. So it's very interesting to ask which drum do I play specifically. I must say this for the media that I started my artistic career playing the djembe far back as what year was that? I think I should not put a year to that. So I started my artistic career playing djembe, and then as time goes by, I began to play other African percussion instruments because I don't want to limit my expression to one particular drum. This minute you see me with dundun, the next minute you see me with bata, the next minute you see me with another drum, you see me with djembe, you see me with the sakara, just name it. I'm very expressive when it comes to picking a drum that help or that is best to define my drumming career. So I don't have one specific instrument at the moment. I'm moving from one to another, from one to another. But then a lot of people that knows me far back as 2016, 2017, 19, thereabout, they will say, yeah, Jedalo plays the djembe, because that's that. As at that time, that djembe drum was the most expressive percussion instrument that I have and I have access to at that time. So it helps me to express myself beyond what words can comprehend. So but now I have moved from having one particular drum to expressing myself on all percussive and percussion instruments. Yeah. So there are several drumming traditions that I've learned from several master drummers, and I will start from the Nigerian space first before going to any other space. For the Yoruba drumming, or let me say for the Nigerian drumming, I studied Isioma Williams. He's one of the master drummers in Lagos, Nigeria. And when I say master drummers, we call him Osha. And as at the time I started playing djembe, a few people I studied. Number one person, Mamandi Kieta of blessed memory. I studied Mamandi's attitude while playing djembe. I studied Mamandi's playing texture. I studied Mamandi's tonal rendition on djembe. I studied Mamandi's composition also, because Mamandi is an amazing composer when it comes to djembe ensemble, and I must say that he was the first person that I saw playing an ensemble of djembe. And Mamandi Kieta, I studied Mamandi Kieta. I studied Sidiki Dembele. Amazing guy. Sidiki Dembele has a very unique technique. He's very fast. He's a very fast djembe player, and his solo there's something about Sidiki Dembele's solo. Sidiki Dembele's solo is more. It sounds more like when you're in a romantic relationship. It's very interesting to watch Sidiki Dembele play. And I remember during the COVID era, when it was like giving out sending out putting out posts on 1 minute djembe pattern, people play, repeats the same rhythm routine, and it was really amazing. When it comes to Saba drum, there's this Saba master, I'm so sorry I can't pronounce his name, but he's a Senegalese. He's an amazing Saba musician, and he plays Saba like what's the easiest thing one? He plays Saba like you are clapping, and that's how amazing he is. He's one of the great Saba composers in the world. Yeah, I know it's very difficult for some drummers. I'm not going to use the word most drummers to differentiate or distinguish ceremonial drumming and then traditional drumming. And I must say that this is where the spirituality comes into it. All drums are ceremonial, all drums are traditional. But the moment, the time, the space, the emotion, and the people differentiate all of these things. For instance, if today is a mourning day, the people here are not going to be excited. The people here are not going to be merry. They are going to be here mourning someone in a sad. They are going to be grieving. So, while playing drum at that time, you cannot play an exciting drum. Yeah, you have to play something. The drum does not serve as an entertainment anymore. It serves as a part of the mourning system. So when it comes to the ceremonial part too, it's the same way. So the people, the space, the time, the moment, and the emotion. In fact, the spirituality makes it easy to differentiate between ceremonial and traditional. So I'm saying this to the general public for the general public to understand that distinguishing ceremonial drumming and traditional drumming is just about the space, time, people, emotion, moments, and the spirituality that makes it different, that helps to differentiate. For instance, dum can be a traditional drumming today. The next minute, you see it where they are having wedding ceremony or where they are having naming ceremony. And this can be played this minute at the Orisha shrine. The next minute you see it in a church playing for a wedding ceremony. So you can tell that the things that differentiate it is the space, the time, the people, emotion, and spirituality. The role of polyrhythm in traditional drumming is very funny how I will use language to explain this. For every language, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, name it, every language that we speak language in polyrhythms. Because at the time when I'm saying I am Jedalo, the next person is saying something. But everything at the same time, when you hear it from afar, we are all making sense out of nonsense. So polyrhythm in traditional drumming. Drumming is not just about rhythm. Drumming is a language. Drumming is an essence of tradition. So when Dundu is playing, for instance, Dundu is playing. This is one Dundu playing it. The next Dundu might be playing. Communicating. In traditional drumming, polyrhythm is communication. This one is playing pum 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 pum, the next one is playing pum 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 pum, and the next one is playing. So everybody keeps communicating. At the end of it all, the structural maestros, music maestros, we'll call it polyrhythm. Westernization brought the name polyrhythm into traditional drumming. Traditional drumming is always communication. So the essence of polyrhythm in traditional drumming is to help us to create a word that guides what we do. For every traditional drumming, everything is structured around communication. everything is structured around communication, and that's what define the essence of polyrhythm in traditional drumming. Any drum ensemble that you see that is not communicating, something is missing. There is a missing composition. The same thing Western music. Western music has communication. So by default, I know polyrhythm is more grounded and more common in the traditional drumming because this one plays this, that one plays this one plays the full ensemble makes sense. But individually everybody plays different thing. So polyrhythm in traditional drumming is the role of polyrhythm in traditional drumming is very important because traditional drumming is about communication. Yeah. The question, do I know how to tune, repair any of my drums? I think it's a bad thing for any drummer to not know how to tune or how to repair any drum. What happens in the case where you travel and then your drum head goes bad? Would you send it back to Nigeria for them to repair for you? So for me, I know how to tune this JB first off, because I always say something that before learning how to play a drum, learn how to make it, learn how to tune it. It helps you build connection with the drum before you start to play. Because for every drum that we play, for every drum that we carry, there must be a connection between the drummer and the drums, because there's a spirituality guiding it. So I know how to tune the dundu drum. I know how to tune and repair djembe. Lately, I just discovered that I can repair some of my other drums that I've never even laid my hand on before. But the moment I gave it a try and I realized that I can do this thing. So it's very important for all drummers to know how to tune and how to repair their drums. The techniques of playing drums with sticks, drums with hand. First, tonal rendition. Second, human connection. Third, every drum has its own principle. For instance, dun dun, I can play with hand. But the drum is not designed to be played with hand. Instead, it's designed to be played with the stick. So, you can tell the difference from and this. You can tell the difference. That's the same way everything is. I remember there was a time I had an argument with some drummers that djembe is not a drum that anyone should play with stick. The argument went on and on and on and on because djembe is designed to be played with hand. There is a feel when you play a drum that is designed to be played with hand. There's a tonal feel that comes with it when you play it with hand. There's a feel that comes with when you play a drum that you're meant to play with drumsticks and you play it with your bare hand. There's a missing feel in it. I have a bass drum here. Just played with hand. You can't get the feel, but imagine. But you can actually do it. You can actually do it that way. You can play with sticks and hand, but there are particular drums that you should not play with sticks. First, the djembe. You cannot play djembe with sticks. It's not designed that way. The Bambara culture never designed djembe to be played with sticks. There is a drum that looks like djembe that you can play with sticks, and that's the saba. For instance, saba is a drum that you can play One hand with stick, the other hand without stick. That's Saba. And a couple of other drums that are designed like that. So the difference between playing drums with sticks and playing drums with hand, first is the texture, the tonal texture. Second is the connection. But I tell you for a fact that every traditional drumming or every African drums has a human connection. Whether it is played with sticks, whether it is played with bare hand, there is always a human connection guiding it. The tonal rendition of the talking drum is structured and designed around the Yoruba tonation. The do re mi abidi e igbi, like that. So, and my master used to say something that if you want to learn how to play a particular drum, go and learn the language first. Go and learn the language of the people. Then you can bring it to learn their drums. So on Dundu drum, for instance, this is Dundu talking drum, and then it has the low octave, high octave, and perhaps the mid also, for instance. I'll say that the Yoruba talking drum, for instance, speaks the Yoruba language. Of course, it can also speak any other language, but the drum speaks the Yoruba language, and there is nothing difficult in it. My master used to say something that if you want to learn how to play a drum that is from a different tribe or different region, learn the language first. When you learn their language, you can now come back and play the drums, because knowing the language will help you understand how to use the language on the drums. So for instance, Dundun, like I said, can play it can speak the Yoruba language, can as well speak any other language. And he has basically the tonics of do re mi fa sol la ti do ti la so fa mi re do. You get it on the talking drum. Let's try. I'll play something in English. That's the Foilis. It's an English composition. And if I play a Yoruba song. So, like I said, you can speak any language, and the tonation is structured around the Western tonics of our awesome. So, yeah. There is something people often argue about that I don't think is worth arguing about. Every drums are created with their kind of skins. For instance, a master djembe mostly is always, built with the cow skin, sometimes thick goat skin. On rare cases, you see antelope. For instance, this drum is made with the goat skin. You cannot build drum with a cow skin. It's not going to work. And I need everyone to understand this thing, that skinning a drum has to do with the thickness of the shell, which is the wood. There are some woods that will not hold cow skin. There are some skin that are designed to hold cow skin. When you put goat skin on it, it's gonna serve, but it's not going to serve that long period, because first the face, the thickness of the skin, and it is not the skin that determines the tone of a drum. It is not the skin. It is the shell that determines the tone of a drum. Of course, the skin had value to it. But what determines if the tone is going to be up high, or is going to be on mid, or is going to be very low, is not the skin, it's the shell. I mean, when I say shell, I'm referring to the wood. We don't call it wood anyway, we call it shell. For instance, you hear this. The drum is a big drum. So what do you expect to hear? It's not the skin doing justice to it. The shell is doing the justice. So skinning drums, you have to understand, know which skin fits which shell. Goat skin fits which shell. Cow skin, antelope. If you want a high octave on a very tiny shell, of course, a goat skin is going to work. A cow skin, it's going to work, but it might take you some sort of process. An antelope skin is going to work, but for my djembes, I prefer to have a cow skin, because one, it serves longer. It helps to, I think the most important thing is it serves the duration, the durability of the skin serves longer, and then the tone changes as time goes by. Because if you skin a cow skin djembe now and then you play, you might not get the peak of the tone immediately. Maybe after a while when the skin expands. So like I said, skinning a drum, goat skin, cow skin, antelope would be determined by the shell and of course the drummer. Some drummers don't like to play cow skin, especially when it comes to djembe. Some drummers don't like to play cow skin. They say, there's a way it spoils their palms and all of it. Some of us, we don't like to play goat skin djembe or antelope skin djembe. So it's just different drummers with different preferences. If I must be honest, all African drums needs proper documentation. All African drums needs proper documentation. It took me the longest time to understand or discover that djembe was never a South African instrument. Why? Because there was no proper documentation of the drum. For every time you go online, you type dum dum or the Yoruba, or you type talking drum, you see different talking drums. You see the tama, you see the dum dum, you see a couple of others. And this is as a result of we Africans, we are not paying attention to documenting all of these things as they are very necessary and important. And I think one of the best ways to preserve the African culture is to have a well-documented archival material, online, museums. It's even sad that when you go to museums across, for instance, across Nigeria, you don't get to see anything about African drums. You don't get to see any readable materials, archival materials, African drums, whether it is the Yoruba or it is the, you know, I feel when you go online, you search for bata, you see different types of bata. There is beginning to be a misconception about, oh, which one is the good one, which one is the bad one, which archive material is the original one. And I think the reason why we are not having or African percussion or African drumming is lacking this proper documentation is because people are not going out to make research. People are not going out. So most drummers that I see, and I'm not saying this to counter any drummers. I'm just saying this from the place of honesty that most drummers that I see that go all around playing drums and all of it, many of them don't know what they are playing. They don't know about the drums. They don't have a grounded knowledge about the instruments they are playing. For instance, how can someone who plays the guitar does not know how the guitar came about? It's saddening the heart when I see people and I ask them that, oh, this drum you play is from where? What's the the history behind what you play? They just tell you, it's a Yoruba drum, it's an Hausa drum, it's a this one drum, it's a that one drum. They don't have the knowledge. And knowledge is not about what you play, it's about what you know about what you play. People need to see, drummers, this is an open letter to you all. It is a high time you go back and make research. It's a high time you go back and make research about that drum that you're playing. It's high time you come to the public and then speak the rightful information about the drum that you play. Many drummers play talking drum in church, but they don't know that the drum does not fit into a church. They don't even know the history behind the drum. They are just excited. They are just happy to play it all for the... This is a call to action for every drummers. Go back, make research. That's the best way we can keep record. We can keep this archive alive. If we don't do that, then it's a total waste. What we do is just going to be there. We need readable materials on all of this, about all this instrument that we play. Now, I can say that when it comes to djembe, I think I can say this for a fact, on a scale of 100%. The information I have about the djembe drum, I doubt it if any other djembe player in this country, Nigeria, know or have a half of it. Many djembe drummers don't even know that djembe does not belong to South Africa. Many djembe drummers don't even know that the drum is from Mali. If they know it's from Mali, they don't even know the tribe the drum is from. And it's because we are busy making money, we are ignoring the most important thing, the research. The research can even fetch you more money than to play. And I think I'm coming to that point now where I play less and then do more of archival work. Yeah. My name is Goodluck Obatende OlorunJedalo, popularly known as Jedalo. I'm a performance artist, percussionist, sound artist, sound researcher, emergent photographer, workshop facilitator, and a community creator. And I'd like to tell you one very important thing, that it's okay to listen to music, but it helps the soul, the mind, the spirit when you listen to quality music. And for you to do that, go to Just Play, download the app on your phone. It's on iOS, it's on Android Play Store. Listen to quality, great music, African music on Just Play. And of course, if you want to read stuffs, read quality quality archival materials on African music, like emphasis on African music, visit African Music Library.